My name is Chris Boris, and I'm the first ever ghost behaviorist.
Remember the IrateGamer? Who am I kidding? Just like the majority of the internet, you've probably forgotten about him. So let me jolt your memory real fast. The IrateGamer is that guy who is famous on the internet for ripping off the angry video game nerd. And if that doesn't jolt your memory, then nothing will, because that's pretty much all the dude is known for. What a lot of people don't know about the IrateGamer is that he's had a number of other attempts at having a YouTube career, which have been either much worse somehow, or surprisingly more successful. And in fact, some of you guys might be surprised to find out that IrateGamer, also known as Chris Boers, actually currently has a YouTube channel, which likely generates even more money than Cinemassacre itself. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, so let's get into it. The main spin-off project of Chris's, which a lot of people have absolutely no idea about because, let's be honest, doesn't rake in any views at all, is a bit of a side series that he does where he tackles the paranormal. Yes, Chris Boers has in recent years decided to become a ghost hunter. Rather than calling himself a ghost hunter though, which is basically what he does, it's the exact same thing as that you can find on network television, just a bunch of history here and there about the locations, but it's mostly just a bunch of fluff to get people who are gullible into believing that there are things there that aren't actually there. But rather than actually having the dignity to just, explain that he's the same thing as those con artists that you see on television, he calls himself the very first ghost behaviorist. Whatever the fuck that means. In all honesty, the majority of episodes of The Ghost Doctor, there's not really that much special to them. It's really just the novelty of finding out that someone like Chris Boers, who just seemed like such a boring, mundane guy who's never really done anything of note on the internet other than be known as someone's ripoff, was actually interested in all this weird shit the entire time. And it's not just, the paranormal aspect of this. We can see in some videos that I'll be playing very soon that there's also a very strange religious aspect to this. Seems that way, based on some context clues. But the video I'm going to be playing for you first is actually the 7th episode of Ghost Doctor, where he shows his very first paranormal experience. The entire video is him at this landmark, actually called Lookout Tower, but he refers to it as Witch's Tower, which is apparently what it's known as colloquially. I'm being honest, just like every other video on this channel, this video amounts to a shitty history lesson with nothing paranormal, just like anything that you'll find on the Travel channel, and he goes on in other videos to claim that he is the only true ghost behaviorist who understands how ghosts work, and that all the other people who are talking about ghosts on, mainstream networks are basically just hack frauds. Just more fucking ridiculous, because it's basically just, we all know what's going on here. If you were involved in those big networks, if they asked you to do an episode of Ghost Adventures, you'd totally be on board with everything that they were saying. You're not in the club, so you're angry. That's pretty sad.
Now, what's interesting about the Witch's Tower is we came here a couple years ago and had an interesting encounter with the paranormal.
Hold on.
Is it working?
My camera keeps shutting off. Is there anybody in this area that's playing with my camera? If you're playing with my camera, do it again.
The very first instance I could find on the internet of him actually talking about his interest in the paranormal. He made this event on Facebook called Ghost and a Gamer, Pursuit of the Paranormal, an event by Chris Boers. Apparently this was an event where Chris Boers added a bunch of fucking people on his friends list from all across the goddamn country to try and get them together for a paranormal event that he was putting together, in which he was actually trying to sell people tickets for what just seems to be like a 90-minute seminar. Chris Boers was actually selling tickets for what he advertised as, and I quote, an entertaining documentary featuring a 90-minute conversation with a spirit, and a ghost hunt at the Collingwood Art Center, opening its doors for the first time ever. What a way to start off your business with a fucking ghost explanation by Chris Boers. Half the people who got invited randomly off his friends list end up commenting in the group, and the vast majority of comments are actually just like, not attending, sorry. Clearly Chris didn't take any consideration to the people who were actually around Ohio who could actually make this. Because there were people from England asked to go to this event, there were people from Massachusetts asked to go to the event. Why the hell wasn't I invited, Chris? I know this was like years and years ago, but what the fuck, where's my invite? I remember distinctly seeing that Chris was selling these tickets for about 15 bucks. 15 bucks is a lot to ask for a 90-minute seminar. Like, where's my money back guarantee, Like, what if I don't actually meet with a spirit, if I don't actually feel the connection, Can I get my money back? Probably not. He would probably just say that I'm a scam artist, you know, just like he's trying to be. And I'm sorry if I'm trying to make it out like, you know, this is worse than it is. Maybe Chris doesn't have malicious intentions. But when you go around charging 15 bucks for something that it just seems so fucking cockamamie, what am I supposed to expect? When you really analyze how Chris Boris is as a person, all the things that he's done, all the channels that he's made, all of them seem to be made from the perspective of not really wanting to make something that's entertaining, but just wanting to make money. There doesn't seem to really be any passion in the IrateGamer and in the Ghost Doctor or in the other channel that we're going to be talking about at the end. They all just seem like blatant cash grabs trying to, you know, make it in on a trend before it dies out. And what's going to happen when that happens? What's going to happen when nobody gives a shit about this stuff anymore? I'm sure there'll always be a niche community. Clearly, you weren't able to strike success with neither the IrateGamer or this channel. We'll talk about the one channel that you did get successful with, and I think that you should honestly be ashamed of that. But I digress. Regarding the whole Facebook group, I just have to laugh at the fact that one person in the comments even asked the age-old question about him being a ripoff of the nerd. Even when he's trying to do his own thing, completely detached from video games, he's never gonna outlive just being in the nerd shadow. Absolutely hilarious to me, because you can tell that it pisses him off. You can genuinely tell that it has some effect on him. Now, there is another video that I want to talk about with you guys, where it's basically him explaining what his bullshit title of a ghost behaviorist is in his mind. And this is where I start to notice the spiritual influence on this. It's not just an interest in the paranormal, but the spiritual as well. What you can spy in the background of this video is he has a bunch of Eastern spiritual garbage. No offense to anyone who has that religion. I just happen to think religion is garbage. And this entire video plays out like it's just a dude who's clearly watched one too many crazy History Channel segments and wants to replicate that same energy on absolutely no budget at all. And History Channel already seems low budget enough, so just slash that and put that on a YouTuber's budget. The same person who made the IrateGamer web series, mind you, and yeah, the quality is not gonna be too stellar. That's one of the craziest things about this whole channel. Somehow, it's one of the worst things that came out of 2020. I really like this part here. It's him looking really stupid introspective, like he's contemplating eating that pen. He clearly failed at pitching paranormal shows, and I think we know why this channel exists as a result.
I've pitched show after show after show that tries to get into this area that people are so interested in learning about, and they don't want to touch it. So I don't know if it's too sophisticated for them or if there's a hidden agenda or what. You know, we'll get into that in a later episode.
He literally tries to claim here that ghost hunting is too sophisticated for some people, and that's why we don't have an interest in it. When I see compelling evidence, I'll believe it. When there's some actual science to back it up, I'll believe it. But until then, it's just a bunch of, you know, theorizing and hearsay. And if you want to have your theories about things, then feel free. But the fact that you take it so seriously and you act like you're a real genuine scientist who's doing like a service to humanity by doing this research, you're not. You're basically just doing the equivalent to LARPing at this point. You know what you're doing is bullshit, at least I think so. But you go out and you do it anyway, because you want to believe it's true. That's what this boils down to, right? You want to believe that it's true. There's this really strange part in the video where he claims to have had the longest interaction with a ghost ever recorded at a whopping 90 minutes. He thinks they found this entirely new method that's going to change the game, and everybody else is just ignorant, using the wrong method, or doesn't believe because the wrong method is being perpetuated.
Classifications of the mindsets of the spirit worlds, and I've come up with 6 different classification types because I found out, like I said, each one of them has their own wants, their own needs.
Just delusions upon delusions. He then goes on to list the different types of categories he thinks that ghosts can be placed into, and just, oh my god. Oh yeah, none of those silly old categories. Listen to my crackpot theories about how you're supposed to group up ghosts and shit like that. Like, what makes your theory any more valid than theirs? There's no scientific basis in paranormal activity being a real thing that exists. So until you have evidence that is taken seriously by a number of fucking professionals, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna take you seriously. Oh, I've got to show you this. He is so proud of this. This terrible graph that he makes trying to explain all the different types of ghosts. Tell me if you can make goddamn heads nor tails of what this shit is. I have no idea. Even when he tries to explain it in the video, I have absolutely no idea what the fuck he is talking about. This is something that people can understand? No! Anyone who looks at this is gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? At least those labels that you listed earlier, people have some semblance of what those mean, or at least they think they know what they mean. These are hungry? Hungry? Who the fuck uses the word hungry to describe a fucking ghost?
When I say hungry spirits, don't think about physical hunger. Think of like a psychological hunger. You know, these spirits are here because they have needs, they have wants that they have to fulfill, like desires. And until those things are fulfilled, they can't move on.
Wait, this is literally the explanation for how ghosts work in Casper the Friendly Ghost.
And I've been at locations where you ask, are you a wandering spirit? And they will say, yes, I'm just passing through here.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense at all. How the hell are the ghosts supposed to know your terminologies? It feels like everything in this video is literally perpetually being made up by you on the spot and justified on the spot. Oh, I almost forgot this part right here where he's literally trying to diagnose ghosts with medical issues. Something that doesn't even exist, and he's devoting all this time to evaluating their mental health when maybe he should take a look at his own.
They're going through the stages of denial. They have post-traumatic stress syndromes. They're having dissociative disorders and all those type of things that affect us here in the real life as well.
Oh my god, do you see that in the background? What's with that mainframe? That's like something out of a goddamn film. How much money did that cost? Did you spend all that money on that shit just to feel like a real ghost hunter? Are you serious, dude? Oh yeah, and here's the cherry on top. Then he goes on to claim that it's all just because of a higher power.
A lot of these people on TV, you know, they've been on TV for 20 years, and I'm just sitting there going, why haven't you thought of this stuff yet?
Like I stated earlier, and that's why I want to play this specific clip, the entire reason why you do not like these people is because you aren't in on the grift. I can tell that you're someone who's only ever cared about the grift. You're not artistic. You don't put out creativity. You just put out what appeals to the lowest common denominator. You rip other people off. That's what you're known for, dude. And you could do better, but you just choose not to. And then ironically, just under fucking 1 minute later in the video, he tries to present Hardcore Pawn and True TV as some kind of authority on ghost hunting. Well, are these fucking networks full of shit? Or are they not? Shouldn't all these, like, mainstream networks be against your method if they're trying to keep it covered up or whatever you believe? You know, this is all ultimate proof in my mind that all this dude has ever cared about is getting attention and appealing to the lowest common denominator for that attention. Next, we might as well take a quick look at the good old intro to Ghost Doctor. Well, there's quite a lot of cringe here to dive into. He literally included this part in the intro where even the ghost laughs at how pathetic of a fucking ghost behaviorist he is.
Wow, you're laughing at us, aren't you?
But here's the really important part right here. This is fake as shit. He literally splices it in to make it look like he's having a conversation with this person, when it's really just someone from some TV show.
Maybe I need to find another home. That kills me even thinking about that.
Look at that editing. He doesn't even try to make it look good. It's so blatant what this is, and this is what you see at the start of every single episode of Ghost Doctor. Here's a really strange video that he uploaded to his own channel in which he apparently was featured for some time on NBC News.
You know, just don't research ghost hunting. Research psychology, research ancient history, because it all comes together at some point.
Oh my god, that's the epitome of look surprised for the camera, please. Paranormal Communicator, what a title. I like how he's not a good enough grifter to get in with the actually relevant names used in discourse, so they have to give him an even more absurd title. Also, what is that in your hand? It looks like a fucking children's toy. Sounds like he paid for a lot of expensive technology that doesn't do what he wants, so he finds a way to justify buying it.
Did you work for the military? Yeah?
It's like a boy trying to talk to his dog. What's that, Sparky? There's someone stuck in the well? The weird thing about this segment, the rest of the video is just a bunch of nothing interviews with this incredibly awkward filter that has nothing to do with Chris Bores at all, and yet he included it anyway. I don't get it. It's really unsettling, and not in the way that they were going for. Well, that was quite a bit of research, much more than I'm used to doing. This is actually the first time I didn't just come on here and do a rant since my very first solo video. This is the first time since that commentary that I've decided to do an actual proper commentary. Because this is turning out to be quite the hefty video, before I leave you, I do want to talk a little bit about something else. The one thing that I teased at the start of the video, because I did say that there is a channel that is owned by Chris Bores that a lot of people don't know about, which might just pull in more revenue than Cinemassacre. I hope you guys are sitting down, because it turns out that, well, Chris Bores actually became an unboxing channel. He doesn't go by his actual name. He doesn't actually, you know, present himself as himself. He actually goes by Puppet Steve. I doubt anyone who watches this channel is familiar with that channel, because that channel is aimed entirely and exclusively at kids. But no, this is Chris Bores, just trying to do whatever he can to grift on the YouTube algorithm. And let me tell you, children's channels on YouTube are disturbing enough, but looking at it through the lens of this is Chris Bores doing this just makes it all the more weird. How about we take a quick quick look at one of these Puppet Steve videos and determine how weird it is exactly.
And this is a great looking figure of classic Sonic. Oh, looks just like Sonic from the old days.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I hate how disingenuinely he speaks. This is something that all fucking children's channels... I like how there's amazing entertainment out there for kids, like Avatar: The Last Airbender and a number of other animated series. And then there's just bullshit like this, which literally rots their brain, like the bottom of the barrel, just opening toys and looking at shit like that, just whatever can sate the YouTube algorithm. I hate content like this. Content like this is what ruins YouTube. Also, I have to ask, why the fuck are his hands covered up in flesh-covered gloves? Does he think people are not gonna recognize his voice, but will look at his hands and be like, whoa, Chris Bohr's hands. Wow, what an astute observation and modern day Einstein this guy is. You know what? Honestly, I already can't take it. I already cannot take this shit. If you guys want me to do an entire video exploring this very strange era of Chris Bohr's history, then I can dive more into the whole Puppet Steve phenomenon, but I think I'll leave you mostly with the strange side of him being a ghost hunter for now. And maybe if you guys like this, we can, like I said, expand upon this in another video later. I do want to thank you guys very much for listening to this shit. Want to try something different? Leave a comment down below if you like this, if you want to see more, if you have any ideas, comments, or concerns. I'm certainly quite concerned, if I'm being entirely honest. And for those who really want to go the extra mile, there is Patreon and YouTube memberships. It's only $1 a month to support us, and you get quite a few perks for that shit. But either way, I do want to say I really appreciate every single one of you for chilling out, and as always, guys, stay toasty.
Keep on busting, keep on gaming, keep on having fun. Know that we Ghostbusters, we got your back. Take care, Chris.